How in the heck are ya? Hopefully with everything going on, you guys are doing well. Hopefully you're hunkered down, you are staying safe inside with your friends and family, and hopefully in general, things are good for you. Before I jump into today's video, a quick update on us and how we're doing. It's weird. Both Morgan and myself work events. I am a photographer and she is a country musician. So all of the events, all of the work that we had over the next 2.5 months has all been canceled. Which, like I said at the end of last video, means right now I am a full-time YouTuber. This right here is my only source of income, at least for the next 2 months. So I will be here making as many videos as possible for you guys, and just in general, I'll be here for you. And because this is a relatively small channel, I'm not making a ton of money on the YouTube side or the Google AdSense side, certainly not enough to replace my income as a photographer. So next week, 2 very exciting things are coming to this channel. The first being merch. I'm going to be releasing a shirt next week, a t-shirt, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's very relevant for the time that we're living in right now, and yeah, I hope you guys like it. I will also be releasing a Patreon page next week, which I'm super excited about because one of the tiers, the $10 tier, is going to get you access to a once per month live stream that is only for Patreon members. And at the beginning, especially because the group is going to be quite small, it means I'll be able to give you guys that personalized attention, answer any questions you have, help you out in any way you need, and just generally have fun together. I'm super excited to see what the Patreon kind of creates in its own community of kind of a smaller group. Of course, I'll still be here on YouTube, but that Patreon is gonna be a little bit more content, a little bit of bonus content that now I have plenty of time to make. But guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. Thank you for hitting the like button below, subscribing, and comment below. Let me know if you're excited for the idea of some merch, you're excited for the idea of a Patreon page, a way to kind of go deeper, get more content, and connect more. And with all that said, I want you guys to know I'm super grateful for you guys. I'm super grateful for the community on here. I really appreciate you watching. And let's jump into today's video. Okay, on to today's video. I'm super excited for it because some of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube that I actually like digging into are setup videos, either iPhone setup videos or computer setup videos. Because I do most of my work alone, I'm kind of a lone wolf setup here. Whenever I'm with a friend or I'm at a coffee shop and you kind of peek over at someone's iPhone or peek over at their computer, you're like, what app is that? What program are they using? What is that? I wanna know. And the coolest thing when someone goes through these setup videos is really just finding like 2 or 3 things that really connect with me that I can pull out of their setup, out of their way of doing things, and slide it right into my setup. For instance, how does a professional photographer, currently unemployed, / full-time YouTuber set up their brand new 16-inch MacBook Pro? Oh, look how shiny. It's still so shiny. It doesn't have dents or fingerprints or anything. Oh. This isn't gonna be a review video of this computer because the consensus is in and this computer is crazy good. It's super fast, the speakers are amazing, the graphics cards are amazing, the keyboard, the new scissor switches, not new, back to the old scissor switches. Oh, it's so good, listen to him. This is the 15-inch one that I'm replacing. Oh. So much better. Apple never changed this keyboard. This is the very best Apple keyboard. So no, this will not be a review of the computer. We know it's dope. Basically what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna walk you through which computer I chose, why I chose the different components that I did for this computer, and then show you literally how I set it up. What do I do when I take a brand new computer out of the box, fully go through everything and get it ready to work? And hopefully along the way, you'll learn a couple things. Okay, I've been working on this thing for a little over a month. I've had it for a while. I've really honed in on most things. There are a couple of physical things that I still haven't done because I was gonna show you guys, but it is on my old computer. I just need to do the things I did to this computer. But before I do that, we're going to hop onto apple.com. I'm gonna show you exactly the build that this computer is. Okay, onto apple.com. All the retail stores are closed right now, but we should be able to still price out this MacBook Pro 16-inch. There it is. Oh, she's so pretty. We're just gonna go ahead and click buy, and I'm gonna walk you through the build that I did. All right, I went for the 16-inch model, and right away I went for the upgraded processor, and I also upgraded it once more to the 2.4 gigahertz, 8-core 9th generation Intel Core i9 processor, turbo boost up to 5.0 gigahertz. This thing is fast. Then scrolling down to memory, a lot of people are gonna tell you that 32 gigabytes is totally fine, which I think for most use cases, 32 gigabytes of memory is totally fine. I went for the 64, 800 bucks. I went for it. I don't ever want to run out of memory. That's one of the things that drives me crazy. And with 64 gigs, there's no way I'm running out of memory. Down to the graphics card, I went with the AMD Radeon Pro 55 with 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory. I make videos on YouTube. I work in Premiere a ton. I want to be able to work quickly, and a graphics card helps with that. Down to storage, I went with 2 terabytes of storage. I'm gonna explain what this was on my old computer in a minute here, but for me and my use case, 2 terabytes is plenty. My old laptop actually only had 1 terabyte, and that worked mostly fine for me. I was usually kind of pushed up against that limit, which is why I went to 2 terabytes, but 2 terabytes should be plenty for me. And that's it. That's all I did. But when you add this to the bag, it's already at $42.99. And then we review our bag and we look at the tax that we're paying on this thing. $46.58.67. Did I tell you I don't have an income right now? I did have an income when I ordered this, and then about a month later, I found out that I'm losing a couple months of income. Whoo! Patreon page, coming soon. Okay, and that is the build. That's everything I did. $4,658. This is one expensive ass laptop. But my entire business runs through this laptop. My entire photography company, all the YouTube videos I make on here are all being done through this laptop. So for me as a business owner, this totally makes sense. It makes less sense now that the coronavirus is here, but it made a lot of sense before it was here. Okay, so that is the specs of the computer. Now into the setup of the computer, and the first 2 things I do are physical things that I do to the computer, and you can see the first one on this computer, and it's a Velcro patch. I just go for these industrial strength Velcros. You can get them at Home Depot or Target or pretty much anywhere. Holds 10 pounds. I do not need this to hold 10 pounds. But I do like the size of them. I like that they're big flat patches because they're holding on, not a 10-pound hard drive, but a very teeny tiny hard drive. This is a Samsung T5 1 terabyte hard drive. It is teeny tiny, and on this side of the hard drive, I put the hard bit of the Velcro. So this is the hard bit, and then on the laptop, I put the soft piece. The main reason I do that is because when I slide this in and out of my backpack, if the hard piece of the Velcro is on here, it catches on my backpack, and that sucks. This is not an exact science by any means. Terrible scissors, worst scissors I could have grabbed. Boom! Now my external SSD can live right here. When I'm at a coffee shop, when I'm on an airplane, or if I'm just trying to work with the computer on my lap, my hard drive sits there. So now I have 2 terabytes internal, I have 1 terabyte up there, I have 3 terabytes of SSD working storage right now. That is bananas. Okay, Velcro is on. The next physical change that I do to my computer before anything else, I draw on it. I know a ton of you are gonna be like, this is crazy, don't do this to this beautiful computer, please, no, 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 no. And you guys are wrong. All right, basically what I do is I just fill up the USB slots on each side, and then on this side I put a headphone jack in there, and then I just draw lines between them. And this isn't super precise. I'm legit just drawing lines between the headphone and where the two USB-C bits are. And then on this other side, I'm just drawing it between the two USB-C ports so I can see where they are. And then from the top view, again, I'm just drawing 2 lines, 3 lines in this case, between each thing. So now, when I look down on my computer, I can see where those ports are. Normally, you have to take a USB-C and you're like, I'm gonna plug it in, or your headphone jack, and you either just start stabbing at the side of your keyboard, or you physically look over and find it. But with these lines, I can be up here, I can grab my headphone jack, I can just go, there it is, I know exactly where it's at because I've labeled it. And that's it. I think that's the only 2 physical things that I do to my computer. I do the Velcro bit up here, and then I draw on the actual keyboard. Okay, now that we have it turned on, I'm gonna walk you through each thing that I do, from system preferences to which programs I download to get this laptop to the point where I can do my work. All right, the first thing I do is I go to evernote.com and I download Evernote. Most of my life is in Evernote. I put almost everything in there. It's kind of my one-stop shop for my mind dump, as well as most of my templates, most of any scripts that I write for this YouTube channel. Everything is in Evernote. It's a super cool place where you can collect notes and photos and videos or any sort of documents. You can actually scan documents and it'll make them searchable within Evernote. I love Evernote. This isn't sponsored by Evernote at all. I just like them. Evernote, call me. All right, so we get Evernote downloaded down here. Next thing I do is go up to System Preferences, and in here, we're going to go to the trackpad. And the very first thing I do in System Preferences is I speed up my trackpad. Normally it's right here in the middle. I'm gonna bring it all the way to this 3rd bar from the right, so it's faster and zippier and I can move my cursor around. And then this here, I'm gonna tap to click. I'm turning on tap to click, which just means that as I move around, if I just touch the trackpad, it thinks it's a click. I don't have to physically click, 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 click. I can just, and back here, we're gonna go into our dock. And the main thing I'm gonna switch is, this is normally in the middle, I'm gonna bring my dock down a little bit so it's a bit smaller, and then turn my magnification on and turn it up. Usually kind of somewhere around like that 70%-ish range. And what this is gonna do is make my icons smaller, but as I hover over them, they get big to let me see them. Oh, and I'm going to say automatically hide and show dock. That's something I turn on. So if you don't have that clicked, the dock is always there. And then when you have things on screen, it bumps into the dock a little bit. You kind of can't see anything down there. But if you do automatically hide and show dock, it's gone. And then there it is. And back to System Preferences. The next thing I'm going into is Mission Control. I don't do anything up here, but I do use hot corners. Hot corners just means that when you take your cursor and you fling it into one of the corners, something happens. And for me, my top left corner is desktop, my bottom left is put display to sleep, my top right is mission control, and my bottom right is notification center. So right now, if I were to have a window open, let's say I was in Safari, and Safari was taking up this whole screen, and maybe I even had a couple windows open that were overlapping each other, and I just wanted to get straight back to my desktop super quick, I just take my cursor, throw it to the upper left-hand corner, everything goes away. I can see the files on my desktop, do something from there. I can even just click Finder and open a new Finder window right there. And then when I'm done, I just fling it back to the top left. Everything goes right back to how I wanted it. Top right is mission control, so that just pulls up all open windows. And then when I want to put my display to sleep, it's super easy. I just fling my hand over my thing. Everything goes to sleep. All right, speaking of notification center, we are gonna go into our notification center, and the one thing I do here is I add a calculator. I don't know how the calculator being right here isn't just already there, but it's not. You have to add the calculator right here, and yeah, it's the only thing I change. And I can access my notification center just by bringing my cursor to the bottom right, it pops up, bottom right, it goes away. Because I did hot corners. If you don't know about hot corners, you do now. This whole video might have been worth it for you just because you learned about hot corners. All right, back to system preferences. I go into wallet, which I'm not gonna open up on camera, but I add my credit cards in here so that I can use my Touch ID, which, oh, I set that up next. I set up my Touch ID, and then I can use my Touch ID to actually pay for things online. I can input passwords with Touch ID. I can do all sorts of things just with my with my fingerprint, which feels very cool. I really like Touch ID and how it works in the Apple ecosystem. Back in here, I go to printer. I get my printer set up in there so that that's ready to rock. Continuing on down here, I go to energy saver. I like on battery power for it to turn display off after 15 minutes, on power adapter 15 minutes, and then here put hard disks to sleep when possible. I do not enable power nap while on battery power. I've had weird things with it in the past, so I don't do that. And then on power adapter, same thing. All three of these are checked and this guy is not checked. Back over here, the last thing I believe I do in here is date and time. And then in here, I just say show date. So up here by default, it doesn't show me the date, it just says Thursday, and the time, I say show date. Now I know it's March 19th at 8:32 p.m. So you're watching this on March 19th, hopefully in the morning because you watched it so quickly because you had the bell rung and you were like, oh my gosh, he posted a video, let's go watch it. No? But by clicking this, I can actually see the date right up in the right-hand corner, which is super sweet because I never know the dates. While I'm working and someone starts calling me, I look up there, I go, I know the day, I know the date, and I know the time all at once. And while we're up here, I also turn on the percentage meter on my battery. So if you click the battery, it pops down here. By default, show percentage is turned off. So you just kind of see a little icon of your battery meter, but I click that. I like to show percentage so I can actually see the percentage of how much battery is left on this thing, which by the way, is freakishly long. The battery in this thing is crazy and seems to last forever. Okay, once that's done and I'm through system preferences, the very next thing I do is go to adobe.com and I download the Creative Cloud Suite, which in my menu bar puts the Creative Cloud up here, and I can click into here and download each of the apps that I use. I use Photoshop, Illustrator, Acrobat, InDesign, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Bridge, Lightroom Classic, Audition, Media Encoder, and Camera Raw. And if I go down here, these are all options that I can download all through this one portal that is Creative Cloud. All right, so those are all downloaded, and in my dock down here, I can see all of them. The next thing I do is download Photo Mechanic 6, which is the culling and ingesting program that I talked about in my last video or 2 videos ago. One of the videos, go watch it, learn how to import and cull your images faster. You need to download Photo Mechanic 6. After Photo Mechanic is downloaded, I then go to Google Drive and I download Google Drive onto my computer. I know I've talked about it in a previous video, but if you go into my computer, everything is in Google Drive on my computer. So everything, I go on here, I go into the Google Drive folder, and then that's where everything lives. Nothing lives anywhere else on my computer but in Google Drive, except for photos and I think video that are backed up via iCloud. But everything else is in that Google Drive folder. So again, if I lost this computer, if this computer just went away, I would buy another computer, I would download Google Drive, and all of my files would go right back to where I had them before. So every file on my computer is always backed up at all times. Okay, once Google Drive is downloaded, I download Google Chrome. And the main thing that I use Chrome for is YouTube, honestly. I use Safari for almost everything online, and then I use Google Chrome just for YouTube because I can have my plugins through YouTube. I use the vidIQ plugin for YouTube, so I can kind of see different metrics on things, and it only works through Google Chrome. I think that's it. Oh, there's one more thing that I do on my computer, and oh man, if you don't know how to prevent this, you're gonna love me just for this one alone. If you, like me, download a lot of files, a lot of music from the internet, I download a lot of music from Epidemic Sound. As soon as I download it from Epidemic Sound, it hits my downloads folder and then opens iTunes and starts playing. And it drives me crazy. Or I download a photo and it automatically opens up in preview. But there's a way to stop that, to tell your computer, just download it. Put it in the downloads folder, don't do anything else. And it's super simple. We go into Safari, we go Safari, Preferences, and right here in the General tab, the first tab, you go to the bottom here, Open Safe Files After Downloading. If this is clicked, it means open the file as soon as I download it. If you think it's safe, open it up in whatever program is default to my Mac, which for songs means open up iTunes and just start playing it. And it's not even called iTunes anymore, is it? It's just called Music, Apple Music. Open up Apple Music and start playing it. It's so weird that's not iTunes. Okay, so we're gonna unclick that. If that is unclicked, you're gonna download files. They're gonna go to your downloads folder and that's it. They're just gonna stay there. And I think that's it. That is computer ready to work, ready to edit, ready to make videos, ready to edit photos, do all sorts of things in Photoshop and Premiere and just generally work for my life. That's how I set up a computer. I know there was a ton of info on exactly how I set everything up. I hope that 2 or 3 of those things clicked with you. It helps you out. You learned something today. And I'll see you guys next week. Merch and Patreon page coming next week. And in the meantime, man, be a good human. Just go out there in the world, be a good human, and I think things are gonna get better. I know we see on TV and social media lots of people not being good humans, but if we all do our part, we all chip in and just focus every day and say, I'm just gonna try to be a good human today. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look around and say, what does being a good human mean today? And for most of us, it just means staying at home. Pretty easy to be a good human. Check on your neighbors, check on your friends, check on the elderly, especially call them though. Don't go see them, stay away from them. And yeah, have a good weekend, guys. I will see you Tuesday? Maybe Monday. We'll see. Ha! Oh, that doesn't even make me go all the way dark. Wait. I mean, I had to turn the lights back on so I could turn everything off.